Time for an actual session, this time in the evening, and starting off as usual with the pulling movement, strength oriented. It's a vertical pull, it's the ring L sit chin up. Here, my focus is on keeping the legs as straight as possible while I'm pulling myself up. As the legs are parallel to the floor, gravity exerts much more pressure on them, and so I really feel my quads and my hip flexors really contracting to keep my legs in a straight line. I'm noticing maybe a little bit of a shrugging of my shoulders as I go up, maybe because I was concentrating a lot on keeping my legs straight. And as the reps progress, I notice that it gets harder and harder to keep them straight parallel to the floor as I go up. But I was able to get in about 8 repetitions and 7 in the second circuit that I did not record. And then I was catching a breather before going into the usual, really, only pushing movement that I'm able to do because of the shoulder issue that I'm having, which is the push-up. And I was pushing these for 20 reps on both sets, getting some volume in there, focusing on technique. At the end, since I'm a bit fatigued from the heavier pulling movement, I'm noticing that I was feeling already in the last 4, maybe 5 reps where it was starting to slow down. Maybe there is a bit more of an over-reliance on my upper back to round a bit to try and accommodate the building fatigue. Here as well, my head is tilting down, really trying to get as many advantages as possible to get those reps in. It can be considered really for a form of technique breakdown. I really wanted to get those 20 reps in. Sometimes a compromise can be made on form if it's not extremely ugly, but there is a whole debate going on about that, so I'm not gonna get into that. And then I was moving into the hopping part of the circuit that I'm speeding up always because there's a ton of exercises and they're not all that interesting. So doing some work for the shoulder, these wall twists to get some blood pumping in there, and then basically the second heaviest exercise of the session, which is the Sissy squat, pushing those to about 10 repetitions and alternating between easier and harder exercises. The fact that some are easier, like these wall twists, does not mean that they do not require as much focus, because especially these external ones, they would give me too much of a pull if I wasn't really controlling the twisting movement with my feet. And going on to another exercise for the front of the leg, this is the reverse Nordic. I was not going to do any Nordics down there like I did the last time that I was here, simply because the tendon in my knee is still making itself present whenever I do any exercise that really involves much of a knee bend, and I do not really want to upset it. It's not at the stage where my rotator cuff tendon is, and so I want to keep it that way, not doing too much, just doing something that allows for some blood circulation. But I was noticing here, to my pleasant surprise, while I was doing these good mornings, that I was able to go much lower than during the previous days without feeling too much of a pull in the back of my knee. But I shouldn't probably get too excited about that. Something that I've learned over the course of these months when I've been dealing with these injuries, and previously too, is that there are a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes it looks like things are progressing very well. Others it feels like it's regressing and I'm making many steps back. So I'll have to see in the long run if this is actually helping. I believe so, so I'll keep sticking to that. Only time will tell. I have learned that there is no such thing as speeding up recovery for tendons, so patience is key. Ciao.